Alright, you guys, we'll go ahead and get started. Start off by saying Shabbat Shalom. All praises to the Most High Ahaya. Hope everybody's having an Irab Hawab, a good evening. Tonight's lesson, we're just going to piggyback off of last Sabbath's lesson where we talked about martial law. So tonight's lesson, we'll go into part 2 on information about martial law. Last week we talked about the 5 Walmarts closing, reasoning behind the 5 Walmarts closing, what we think. They tell you that the Walmarts are closed because of plumbing issue, but when you really do your research, those Walmarts are tagged in with the FEMA camps to now make those Walmart underground networking tunnels to tunnel food from place to place underground. That way, if something does happen here on the ground up top, they'll be able to still transfer food to and fro underneath the ground through their tunnel system. So that's what's going on with those 5 Walmarts. When you look on YouTube or whatnot, they say these Walmarts will be closed for 6 months. In order for something to be closed that long for plumbing issues, lets you know they're doing a lot of major work underground. Okay, so that's what we went over last week. We also went over Jade Helm, who Jade Helm is, and it's an exercise that America's doing. They're bringing in troops into 9 different states where they'll be practicing basically martial law. Okay, and through Jade Helm, in these 9 states, they are also connected to the Walmarts that just closed. So we went over all that stuff last Friday to try to give everybody a up to speed clue on what's happening and how fast and how close martial law truly is right around the corner. And they try to tell you through Jade Helm, it's just a training exercise where they're going to be training. Why won't they go train in London? You know what I'm saying? Why won't they go train in another country? Why do they have to do it here? And then on Wednesday's lesson, we went into information on different plagues and how they are now putting vaccines in your food. How the vaccine is now in the mosquitoes. So if you're a family or somebody that opts out to say, I'm not going to get my kids vaccines, the vaccine is now in your foods through Monsanto's, through the GMOs. We broke all that down on Wednesday, along on how the flying mosquitoes, you remember years ago they gave the mosquitoes the West Nile virus. Now they are now giving the mosquitoes the vaccinations that you are refusing to take. So it's all around us, you guys. Everything that we've all been knowing that's about to happen to America is now here. And that's why in the Bible he tells us in so many ways and so many times to flee and to get out of here. So with that in mind, we're already starting about 10 minutes late. Let's go ahead and get into part 2 of the lesson. We closed out last week on Revelations 13 and 10. We'll pick up right there at Revelations 13 and 11. And then we'll go into the information that we have for the night. So remember, have your phones up or your computers up, because we're going to give you some information on Google from some sites that we're going to get our information from tonight, and that way you can follow along. So tonight's lesson will be called Martial Law Part 2. And tomorrow I'll have both of these lessons up and Wednesday's lesson up. So I just did put the Martial Law Part 1 lesson up last week because I was waiting until we had Part 2 done. Now that Part 2 will be done tonight, I'll put both of these lessons up along with the plagues / GMO lesson from Wednesday. Alright, go ahead.
We're in the book of Revelations. We're in chapter 13, verse 11. And it reads, And I beheld another beast coming out of the earth, and he had 2 horns like a lamb, and he spake as a dragon, and he exercised all the power of the first beast before him, and causeth the earth and them which dwell therein to worship the first beast, whose deadly wound was here, and he doeth great wonders, so that he maketh fire come down from heaven on the earth in the sight of men, and deceiveth them that dwell on the earth by the means of those miracles which he had power to do in the sight of the beast, saying to them that dwell on the earth, that they should make an image to the beast, which had the wound by a sword, and did live.
So it said that everybody that dwelled on the earth was deceived by the beast. And the beast is the system that we are now living in. And everything through this system is deceived everybody through the religions, through the monetary gain, just through everything your every day life is a part of. Living the American dream. You have so many people that come to America and they come here because they say, "Oh, I can get ahead in America. I can get 2 cars, a nice big 5-6 bedroom house." So they sold this American dream to you, which is all part of the beast, and you've been deceived through this to now follow after this system. Okay, but it says that the first beast was wounded before him. The first beast that was before him was Rome. All right, the Roman Empire was wounded, but now America has taken over. Okay, still running the same practices that Rome had put in place already, but America is now in charge. Okay, verse 15.
We're in verse 15, and it reads, "And he had power to give life unto the image of the beast, that the image of the beast should both speak, and cause that as many as would not worship the image of the beast should be killed."
So tonight the information we're going to go into, breaking down the second part of Jade Helm, and who Jade Helm is, and how if you don't worship what Jade Helm is bringing in, if you're against it, they're going to kill you. Alright, so it says that the image of the beast should both speak and cause that as many as would not worship the image of the beast should be killed. So that's going to be a key tonight. Verse 16.
Verse 16, and it reads, "And he causeth all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in their right hand or in their forehead."
So no matter who you are, rich, poor, middle class, they're going to try to give you the image of the beast, which is the mark in your hand. All right, which is the chip. So once martial law comes in and they gather everybody up and round you up and put you in the FEMA camps, once they put you in the FEMA camp and start the New World Order, in order for you to be a part of the New World Order and participate, you're going to have to have this mark in your hand. All right, Brother Drill, you there?
Yeah, I'm here, bro.
All right, you're on. So in order for you to participate in the New World Order, you're going to have that mark. And see, and a lot of people are not going to want to participate in that New World Order. So that's when you're going to be killed, like verse 15 said. Okay? Verse 17, let them know where you at.
We're in the book of Revelation, chapter 13, verse 17, and it reads, "And that no man might buy or sell, save he that had the mark, or the name of the beast, or the number of his name. Here is wisdom. Let him that hath understanding count the number of the beast, for it is the number of a man, and his number is 666.
So I'll just tell you that the number of the beast, the image of the beast will be that mark, and then the number of the beast is 666. Okay? But it says you will not be able to buy or sell. Alright? So you won't be able to participate in this world if you don't get that mark, is basically what that's just said. Okay? So now that we started off on our precepts, let's get into some information. Alright? Man, I didn't get the title of this, huh? That's crazy. Let's see, maybe I can give it to y'all this. Put in JH, which is short for Jade Helm. JH is a challenging 8-week joint military. Put that in and see if that will give you guys the information that I'm about to read. Go ahead and read that. JH is a challenging 8-week joint military. Go ahead, read the title.
It says JH is a challenging 8-week joint military and interagency unconventional warfare exercise conducted throughout Texas, New Mexico, Arizona, California, Nevada, Utah, and Colorado.
So these are just some of the states that's going to be in, but total I believe it's 10 states because it goes all the way down to Georgia, Mississippi, and Florida. Was anybody able to pull that up? So go to JH is a challenging 8-week joint military. And y'all was able to see exactly what we're reading? Okay. All right, read it. The term unconventional warfare is what y'all see?
Below that.
That's below that. That's where we're starting.
There's a link below. Yeah, just download it.
Okay, go ahead and read it.
It says the term
Siobhan.
unconventional.
Yes. Yes, you're on. Go ahead. All right, go ahead, read.
Says the term unconventional warfare makes it clear that this exercise is not dealing with a Russian-backed Red Dawn invasion of the southwestern United States by Russian-backed Latin American partners. UW speaks to the guerrilla warfare, asymmetrical nature of the anticipated and rehearsed conflict. Subsequently, it can be conclusively stated that Jade Helm is not preparing for a Red Dawn invasion. Rather, they are preparing for a red, white, and blue invasion.
So it says what Jade Helm is doing is not preparing for a Red Dawn invasion. You seen the movie Red Dawn? And through the movie Red Dawn, it shows what? China invading America, basically, right? So it's telling you that what Jade Helm is, this exercise that they're doing in these 10 states, this military exercise that they're doing in these 10 states is not a Red Dawn, but it's a red, white, and blue invasion. And we'll get to what a red, white, and blue invasion is. Now you have to understand, Jade Helm is in these 9 states. And you say, well, why is Jade Helm only in these 9 states as of now? Mississippi, Florida, Louisiana, Texas, New Mexico, Arizona, California, Nevada, Utah, Colorado. Why is it only in these 9 states? Well, when you look at over the last year, America don't have to put troops in Ferguson. They're already there. All right, so ever since the Mike Brown thing, they put the troops in the streets. The troops still haven't left. The troops are still there. They just not in plain sight. Like, they don't have to put the troops in Baltimore. Troops are already in Baltimore. They don't have to put the troops in Philadelphia. The troops have been in Philadelphia. They don't have to put the troops in New York. The troops are in New York. Troops have been in New York ever since the Boston bum and marathon thing. They stay in Chicago. But ever since the Boston marathon thing where they had to, you remember how when they was looking for the dudes, they brought the troops all down in there? The troops ain't never left. So when people say, why are they only doing it in these 10 states? No, the troops are already in certain states. So now, when you look at it, now when they put these troops in all these other states, now we up to about 15, 16 states that the troops are now in the states. Point blank. We're surrounded by the troops. Okay? And they said after the 2-month Jade Helm exercise, they will then take the troops up to Canada. But we already know there's no reason that they're going to bring all these troops into all these states and do a training exercise. It says an 8-week training exercise and then take them out. Once they bring them in, they're here. I'm sorry to tell you, they are here. Read the 3rd paragraph.
We're in the 3rd paragraph and it reads,
Yeah.
this is a massive rehearsal for martial law implementation, as well as implementing the proverbial and much rumored red and blue list and the snatch and grab extractions of key resistance figures from the independent media as well as uncooperative political figures.
So we'll break that down what that just said. So red, blue, and green list, we're going to break that down in a minute. But it says this red, blue list is the extractions of key resistant figures from the independent media as well as uncooperative political figures. So I'll break that down in a minute so you can have a better understanding on what that's saying. Go ahead.
Down to the next paragraph, it says, the sinister sounding caption, mastering the human domain, refers to the use of military to engender trust in order to control the totally of the physical, cultural, and social environments that influence human behavior. However, these drill will be carried out between 11 p.m. and 4 a.m. How much interaction will they achieve during those hours to practice their trust building skills?
So it tells you that the Jade Helm exercises that's going to be here in Arizona. A lot of us live in Arizona because Arizona's part of this. They'll be doing their drills in between 11 p.m. and 4 p.m. Okay? But it tells you that this Jade Helm thing is a massive rehearsal for martial law. That's what we just read. So these guys are rehearsing how to act in the time of martial law. Why are they doing this? Why all of a sudden? This ain't never been done. All of a sudden they are now preparing and getting ready for martial law. Should make you think and say, what's going on? It's right around the corner, you guys. That's why they're preparing for it. Okay? That's why they're getting ready for it. And that's why they're putting themselves in position, because Obama only has, 6 months left of his term? Obama's already came out and told everybody he's going to run for a third term. People don't believe him. You got to understand what's going on here and understand the politics on how he will end up on the third term. There's only one way that a president can end up doing a third term. And that's if you have massive chaos going on to where you cannot re-elect the new president. Go ahead.
In the next paragraph, it says, invading and conquering a country is a lot easier than maintaining it under your rule.
So it's easier to invade and conquer a country than to maintain it under the rule that it once was under. America is not under that one rule no more. So now they have to bring in the martial law and conquer it to get it back under control. Go ahead.
It says, this appears to be practiced study in modern domination of cultures. How to use your soldiers as counselors to help keep the people of your conquered land subservient. It seems now infiltration exercises will be incorporated in the drills from InfoWars. It says, a Houston Chronicle report reveals that soldiers will attempt to blend with the local population in an effort to test the effectiveness of infiltration techniques. Residents will be advised to report suspicious activity during the exercise.
So it tells you that they're going to blend in with the public. But you read a lot of articles where they tell you that Jade Helm is going to be in a private location. No, they're not. They're going to be right here in the streets, exercising to get you comfortable with seeing them on the streets. That's what they're going to do. They're going to blend in. They're going to be walking the streets here and there to get people comfortable to seeing the troops on the streets. And once people get comfortable with having the troops on the street, then that's when they're going to come in with the bang and take everybody down. Go ahead.
We're down at the next paragraph. It says, they're going to set up cells of people to test how well they're able to move around without getting to notice in the community, said Roy Boyd, Chief Deputy with the Victoria County Sheriff's Office. They're testing their abilities to basically blend in with local environment and not stand out and blow their cover. It says, by directly involving unwitting members of the local population, This aspect of the drill contradicts the Army's assertion that the public can expect nothing much different from their day-to-day activities, since much of exercise will be conducted in remote areas. Jim Stewart, Chief Deputy with the Brazos County Sheriff Office, told the Chronicle that the designation of Texas as hostile territory was merely a way of setting up a role-playing exercise under which soldiers operate behind enemy lines.
So Texas, I want to say Texas and Utah, out of the 10 states for some reason, is set up as hostile territory. Why Utah? We know Utah, there ain't much going on there. But Texas, when you look at Texas, they got a bunch of guns. They sheriff department ain't no punk. And you have a bunch of people like Alex Jones, Glenn Beck, a bunch of different people like that, conspiracy people, what they call them, live in Texas. And they've been trying to close these people's mouths for a long time. Okay? So Texas is now put off as a hostile environment. All right, read the next article we have right there. This article is called Military Activity, Mexico/U.S. Border. Military activity, Mexico/U.S. border. And the article came out on April 13th of this year. Go ahead.
We're going over military activity, Mexico and U.S. border. It says eyewitness account of possible foreign tanks coming into the U.S. from Mexico, El Paso, Texas. Eyewitness.
So eyewitnesses in Mexico say they see tanks coming in, foreign tanks. So remember, the Jade Helm exercise, the military that's involved with Jade Helm is foreign troops. These troops are not your cousins, your uncles, and your brothers. These will be foreign troops that are coming in to take you down. Okay? They can't put a relative that's been in there forever to come in and do this job. Those people won't be able to kill a little kid. Okay? Those people won't be able to take the exercise to the next level as they need. All right, and they have everybody involved. Everybody. Last week we talked. We said the Air Force, right? Air Force, the Naval Academy, the military, the Special Ops units. They have everybody involved in this Jade Helm exercise. All right, so when you put all those guys involved in the Jade Helm exercise, the Navy, they got the Navy involved. Go ahead. Where?
No,
okay. So they got the Navy involved, so if you do escape the lands and try to get to the sea and flee out of here on boat, the Navy's going to be sitting there waiting on you. They got the U.S. Marine Special Ops involved. All right? They got the U.S. Air Force involved. So when you get all these people involved, you guys, there's nowhere to really run or hide. All right? Read this article. Read the rest of the article.
I'm starting in the article and it says, my wife and stepdaughter just came in and woke me up to explain they never seen tanks before. But they were held up by a train for about 10 minutes. They saw all kinds of tanks on it.
So this is a article from Mexico. This is a man from Mexico just last month on April 13th saying there were many tanks coming in on the train in Mexico and they've never seen this before. They don't even really know how tanks look. Go ahead.
It says thousands of them said, but at train speed, 10 minutes only amounts to hundreds coming in. From Mexico by rail, American tanks, they think, but I don't know how that would be. I live 1/4 of a mile from Mexico border. Yes, they have to move tanks around, But for half a decade of living here, we've never seen even one tank on a rail.
So dude say he's been living there for half a decade, 5 years, and they've never seen this. But now all of a sudden they see 10 minutes of tanks on a train. That's a lot of tanks, especially if a train, because a train moves fairly slow. 10 minutes worth of tanks. That's a lot of tanks, you guys. And this was last month. And he said the tanks were being brought into the border of the United States. Okay, so you have to understand, the government moves special op forces in prior events. They would move special ops units into an area, all right, to get prepared for war. Just like in Iraq, they moved our troops in there months before George Bush finally said, all right, we're in war. Just like in Afghan, they moved troops in there months before, and then next you know we was in war at Afghan. So just like right now, they're moving all these special ops forces into these states, and they always do this months prior to some type of event. All right, so this is a war against the people that live in America. Okay, let's break down that red and blue list that I was talking about. Go ahead.
We have red list, and it says primary target for the New World. Once the order is given, the list already exists.
So it says the red list, this list we're about to give you is primary target, all right, for the New World Order. So the different people we're about to give you, they already got these people targeted. All right, and the list already exists. Whether you believe it or not, they already have you on a certain list on where you sit right here. Tell them who's on the red list.
We have firearm owners.
Anybody that owns firearms. So anybody that owns firearms and they have you in the system for multiple firearms, you are on the red list. Go ahead.
People who are politically active resist the New World Order.
So people who are politically active and they resist the New World Order, like people like us, we resist this. We ain't gonna just say, "Oh yay" to the New World Order. We're the type of people that's like, "Nuh-uh," and we got the Bible next to it. So people who are politically active, people that are active and they resist the New World Order. So people who own firearms, this is on the red list. People who are politically active and they resist the New World Order. And go ahead.
Says constitutionalists.
Anybody that don't roll with the Constitution. So anything that Obama's changing and passing, and if you're not just agreeing with it and yay, you are on this list. All right? And let me tell you something. These soldiers, they're not trained to come in your house and take the guns away. These foreign soldiers are natural born killers. They are trained to come in and kill you on sight. So they're not trained to come in and confiscate your gun and then put you in handcuffs and then put you on a FEMA bus. No. These foreign soldiers, anybody that's on this red list, they are trained to come in and kill you on sight. So in the first 30 days of martial law, this is their target. The first 30 days of martial law, the target is the red list. Get rid of all the gun owners. Get rid of all the people that resist the New World Order. Get rid of all the people that's against Obama. Those are the people that are on the red list. Okay? Blue list.
We have the blue list, and it says law enforcement, National Guard, anybody who helps execute the red list.
That's a cold move. So the blue list is law enforcement, National Guards, anybody who helps execute the red list. Kind of sort of the same way. This is how America is though. You remember the Navy SEALs that killed Osama bin Laden? Months later, those guys died in a helicopter crash. Let's go to it. Go to Google.
SEAL Team 6.
SEAL Team 6. Go to Google and put in Navy SEALs who killed Osama bin Laden. Navy SEALs who killed Osama bin Laden died in helicopter crash. And it should be that first article. Google Navy SEALs who killed Osama bin Laden died in helicopter crash. So the red list is people who own firearms, people who are politically active against the New World Order or constitutionalists. Those people get taken out in the first 30 days. And then the blue list is law enforcement, National Guards, anybody who helped execute the red list in the 60 days. So the next 30 days after the first 30 days, they get taken out. But let's show you how America does it. So these are the SEALs who went in and killed Osama bin Laden. Read the article.
It says families of Navy SEALs killed in 2011. Attacks say government is to blame. Published May 10, 2013.
So the families of these Navy SEALs says, hey, the government killed our people. These guys are supposed to be so-called heroes and the government took them out. Why did they take them out? Go ahead.
It says file a U.S. Army CH-47D Chinook helicopter in flight AP Washington. The families of the Navy SEAL team, 6 members killed in a disastrous August 2011 helicopter crash in Afghanistan, blamed the government for the tragedy during an emotional press conference in Washington Thursday. The family members speaking at the National Press Club tried to reopen the book on the crash, in which 30 Americans were killed, most of them belonging to the same unit as those who carried out the raid on Osama bin Laden earlier that year. The helicopter was shot down by insurgents.
So this helicopter was shot down, right? Navy SEAL Team 6, these members was on there. So just like I said, the blue list is going to be the people that actually kills the red list. They doing the government a favor, and then the government's going to turn around and kill them the same way the government did these Navy SEALs that killed bin Laden. That's just kind of how they operate. Read the rest.
It says, during the event organized by a group called Freedom March, family members and former military personnel claim President Obama turned the SEALs group into a Taliban target after the administration revealed they had conducted the bin Laden raid. Doug Hamburger, whose son Patrick was killed, called the incident an ambush that could have been prevented. We're very concerned that the administration had disclosed that the Navy SEALs had carried out a successful attack on bin Laden's compound, resulting in his death. And you know, never before in history of our country had a sitting president release that type of information to the public, especially when he was talking about special forces. Their names and their missions had never been revealed before. And we really feel that this put our guys in an unnecessary risk, Hamburger said.
So it says that usually when an operation like that has happened in history, the president don't go out and leak out who these people are or anything. But Obama, not only did he leak out who these Navy SEALs were, he kind of let them know where they was. He let, when they was flying to Afghan, of course, where's Osama bin Laden from? The Afghan area. So when these guys was flying to Afghan, not only does Osama bin Laden let the world know who these Navy SEALs was, but he kind of pinpointed where they was at. Read the last one, the last paragraph. What many? Go ahead.
It says many military experts at the time, including some of Obama's top military advisors, had questioned the White House's public praise of SEAL Team 6 and said it put members in danger. 3 months after bin Laden's death, members of the SEAL Team 6-4s, though apparently not the same ones who carried out the bin Laden raid, were on board on CH-47 Chinook transport helicopter. Along with its Army National Guard air crew, several support personnel, and 7 Afghan commandos, and all 38 people died that night after the chopper was shot down by a Taliban-owned rocket-propelled grenade, or RPG, over the Wardak province on August 6, 2011.
So 3 months after Osama bin Laden was taken out by the Navy SEAL, those guys were killed. Okay? So now let's go to the green list. The green list. So the red list is anybody who carries, who owns firearms, people who are politically active and resist the New World Order or constitutionalists. Blue list is the law enforcement, National Guards, anybody who helps to execute the red list. And then the green list is everybody else. Green list is the naive individuals that walk this earth and believe in the government, believe Obama is great. They believe in every bill that's passed. They can't wait for the elections. This is the green list. Everybody that trusts and believes in the government. And then once the moment the government turn on them, their eyeballs are almost going to pop out of their head. And it's going to be too late. But that's what the green list is. Everybody that's so trustworthy of the government. They believe America is not falling. America is going to come back. They're just going through something right now. We've seen this before in history. They're going to come back. That's the green list. Okay? So let's find out. So now let's break down the name JADEM. Since this operation is called JADEM, let's break down where JADEM comes from. Google put in history of Jade. History of Jade. Jade. Just put that in Google. History of Jade. And y'all tell me what y'all see. We don't even got to click on one. Just scroll down. History of Jade. Anybody start talking to me. What y'all see? China? You say China? Somebody else? Scroll down. Keep scrolling. What do we see?
Buddha.
Mainly what's the main name that you see? Chinese. So the name Jade comes from the Chinese. The name Jade, known as Wayu in China. Okay? So when you start putting this together, you say, the name JADEM, the name Jade, known as Yu in China. That's where the name Jade comes from. So Jade is a Chinese word. Jade is originally from China. Alright, so now we know where Jade comes from. China. Let's break down the word him. I'm going to give you the definition for him. Give him the first definition I have right here for him.
We have helm, and it is nautical, the steering gear of a ship, especially the tiller or wheel. Somebody
that's the driver. The steering gear of a ship, especially the tiller of the wheel. So that's like the captain of the ship. Somebody that's in control of the ship. Give him the second definition of him.
One second definition, and it says a position of leadership or control at the helm of the government.
Read it again.
A position of leadership or control at the helm of the government.
So jade is China. The word jade comes from China, and helm means the position of leadership or control at the helm of the government, the person that's steering the ship. China is in control of the New World Order. So all the movies you just seen, China invading America, all that, it's true. China is in control of Jade Helm. They won't be the first troops we see on the street. Remember the article we read earlier said that the Jade Helm is not a red dun exercise, but a red and blue exercise. So the foreign troops are going to come in and get everything in order, and then China will come in and do the rest. China is the big wig right now. America is in debt to China. So America almost has to do whatever China wants done. Okay? Wikipedia, the word jade. Just go to Google now and put in jade and go to Wikipedia. So now that we know jade is a name from China and helm is a position or leadership of someone in control, give the information on jade in Wikipedia.
Coming from the Wikipedia, going on jade. Says jade is an ornamental rock. The term jade is applied to two different metamorphic rocks that are made up of different silicate minerals.
So the word jade is some type of mineral rock. Okay? And when you look at it, China is at the top of the world when it comes to gold. Isn't gold some type of mineral? Some type of form of a rock, some type of mineral? And like I said, when you look at it, right now China is at the top of the world when it comes to gold. So this is where the name jade comes from. Alright, dealing with the gold. And the number 15, Jade Helm 15, because that's what it's called, Jade Helm 15. The number 15 just lets you know that it's going to happen in 2015. Alright, this is the year it's going to happen. So like I say, so China is in control of the New World Order, because when you have the New World Order come in, the government that's going to be in charge is China. Alright, because they are, once you get rid of the dollar, then gold's going to resurface, and who has all the gold? China. So let me explain how the New World Order is going to, my vision on how I kind of see it happening. The New World Order will be to put everybody in FEMA camps. So through this Jade Helm exercise, they're going to come in and they're going to topple everybody and put them in FEMA camps. And once you hit those FEMA camps, the dollar will drop at that time. The dollar will become no good. And once the dollar drops, gold will resurface. And you will be re-educated in these FEMA camps. So when you go to these FEMA camps, they're going to put the chip in you, which is the mark that we just read in Revelations 13 and 15. They're going to put the chip in you. And once they put the chip in you, they're going to re-educate you. And what they're going to re-educate you on is that your money isn't no good no more. Everything's gold. It's going to be a whole new system of re-educating. That's the New World Order. What you once knew is no longer. You have the chip, and now gold runs the world. And once that happens, I don't care how much money you had in the bank, everybody now becomes a slave. Everybody. I don't care if you live in Scottsdale right now, you have the biggest house in Paradise Valley or Scottsdale. At this moment, you will become a slave because your money's nothing now. Gold runs the world, so now everybody's automatically, instantly a slave because you now have nothing. So now while they're re-educating you in these FEMA camps, there's only one way to go. You can either go with it and say, okay, I'll be a slave and I'll work hard for mine, or you say, you're going to resist and you're going to be killed. Just like Revelations 13 and 15 says. You're going to be killed instantly on the spot if you don't agree with this new change. And with this new change, this is what's going to bring in civil war. You're going to have civil war everywhere. All right. Even once they start coming on the street, civil war is going to hit everywhere. So now China, the word jade is from China, and helm means position of leadership. So China is in position to take over. All right. Russia and China right now has all the gold. So China has gold and Russia has the gold. And we all know just last summer when America kept putting all those sanctions on Russia, what did Russia do? Went right next door to China, and what they do? Start their own currency. They started their own bank and told Europe and America, we don't need y'all. We just started our own currency. We just started our own bank. And they had Iran and like 8 other countries that bought into what they did. So this was going to start World War III, because now all these countries are going to be dealing with China and Russia, and then Iran is their partner too. There go the oil. So now nobody don't even got to deal with America on oil or money no more, and that's what America ran the world on, through the money currency and through the oil. But now when you got China and Russia and Iran all on the same team, China and Iran started their own currency, own banks, then Iran has the oil. We don't need nobody else. Okay? And then once the dollar drops, which has already been dropping, America's done deal. China right now has 30,000 plus tons of gold. 30,000 plus tons of gold China has, and Russia has at least 15 to 17,000 tons of gold right now as we speak. So between those two, they have all the golds. Google Chinese troops in Mexico. Go to Google and put Chinese troops in Mexico. All right. Go ahead.
We have the Chinese troops in Mexico. Title of the article says the Chinese are coming.
Hold on, I believe it's article, maybe it's 1. Is it 1? Did it pull up the Chinese are coming? All right, go ahead.
Says the Chinese are coming. The Chinese are coming. Says secret Chinese military bases in Canada and Mexico. Says the Chinese People's Liberation Army has nearly 1 million combat troops in Canada and Mexico.
This was just over a year ago, this article. This article was a year ago. And it says they had nearly 1 million troops in Canada and Mexico, Chinese troops. So the Chinese troops are just waiting. They're sitting in Mexico and they're sitting in Canada, and they're waiting on this Jade Helm thing to hit. They're waiting on martial law to hit. Okay? And they're waiting on the red and the blue list to happen, and then that's when they're going to move in and take over like the movie Red Dawn. So China ain't going to come right in right off the rip on New World Order. Like kind of how you see in the Red Dawn movies, you're kind of confused because you don't know how it's going to happen. But the Chinese and the Russian troops are together. So once the foreign troops that's going to be a part of Jade Helm, once they infiltrate everything and take everybody down, then China will come in and control everything from the west, and Russia will come in from the east coast, and they will take over control over everything. And Obama is thumbs up to this. Go ahead.
On the beginning of the first paragraph, it says it has a network of bases throughout North America. Flies military transport aircraft over Southern California at night and is preparing for the eventual takeover of America.
So it tells you that these guys are preparing for the eventual takeover of America. Why are they there? Why have they been there for a year and a half now training? Their training is way longer than this 8 weeks that the Jade Helm thing is telling us. These dudes have been there a year and a half training because they're waiting on the takeover. They're preparing for the takeover. Go ahead.
It says, worst of all, the perfidious President Barack Hussein Obama, in a stunning act of treachery, has given permission to the People's Republic of a China to attack.
So Obama's giving the thumbs up on this. Why? Because he's in debt. What else is Obama gonna do? He's in debt. And what did Obama do 7 years ago when he came into presidency? You remember how they made that fake money? And then what did Obama do his second term when he got reelected? 2 months after he was reelected, what did they do? Raise the debt ceiling. Y'all remember when they did all that? They raised the debt ceiling, and China gave them a little more leeway because they was already in debt. But they raised the debt ceiling, and China told them, "Hey, y'all get behind just a few months on this. We coming in and take over." America is in so much debt right now to China. They got to pay China so much a month just so China don't invade. And we're already at the point to where Obama's already giving them thumbs up, like, hey, by the end of 2015, we ain't gonna be able to pay y'all no more. So y'all might as well already be in position to take what's yours. Go ahead.
Says, is this fiction some sort of take on the Red Dawn movies?
So if you've never seen the Red Dawn movies, go watch them. I believe it's 2 of them, right?
Yeah, old one.
The old one and the new one. Go watch them. Go ahead.
Is it some feverish right-wing dream, or just complete, utter
Yes.
BS? Says, on the contrary, some would argue this is the honest to God truth. Maybe they're not personally sold on it 100%.
So a lot of people don't believe this is happening. They're not sold on it. These are the green lists. This is the green list we was talking about. This is the green list when we talk about this, and you can show them proof. That's not going to happen. Whatever. America's in position. Our army's great. It's not going to happen. That's the green list. Go ahead.
Says, but the evidence is pretty interesting. So it's something to think about. Hey, it's just what they were told. Says, during the 1990s, there were persistent rumors that the United States, in cahoots with the then President Bill Clinton, was readying a takeover of America in order to fulfill the promise of the New World Order.
You hear that? So it said in the 1990s, Bill Clinton was ready to take over America in order to fulfill the promise of the New World Order. So the New World Order has been in place, you guys, for years. This ain't something new. This is something that the Illuminati put in place back in the 40s. Alright? It's been in place for a long time. So now we're in position. They got all their ducks in line to where now they can do it. But this is something that they've already put in place a long time ago, and Bill Clinton was ready to do it in the 90s. But then the money and everything, the money system and everything got right. They wasn't ready at that time. But now you have massive chaos going on in state to state. It's ready now. Go ahead.
We're down in the second paragraph, and it reads, the Federal Emergency Management Agency was building concentration camps in states like Colorado, Wyoming, and Alabama for undesirables. Millions of body bags are being stockpiled at these camps for these deemed incompatible with America's new overlords.
So, body bags. You got body bags right now as of today in multiple states next to FEMA camps. You can probably just look it up. Put in body bags across America, and you'll see tons and tons of caskets. In these caskets, you can fit like 6 to 8 bodies in one casket. That's how big they are. And you got body bags. Fields and fields and fields of body bags. I can't remember. Jesse Ventura did a video to where, I can't remember what state it was, but Jesse Ventura did a video where he went to a field, and it was a field like acres and acres of caskets. Anybody remember that video? What state was that in? Wasn't it like Arkansas, Oklahoma, somewhere, huh? And he was like, "Are you serious? Where was it at, brother?
Georgia.
Georgia. So these body bags and these caskets are waiting for these people that are on the red and the blue list. They already got the caskets and the body bags ready just to throw you right on in them. Read the last part of that.
It says,
Enforcing.
enforcing the New World Order would be the armies of the former Warsaw Pact, Russians.
So they're telling you right now who the feds have brought in. You remember I told you the army that's here right now are the foreigners. The foreigners are coming in. They're not going to have your cousin who served in Iraq, your uncle who's a vet. That's going to be the troops on the streets. Who are the troops that's going to be on the streets? Say it again.
It says, enforcing the New World Order would be the armies of the former Warsaw Pact, Russians, Ukrainians, Czechs, Poles, and other heartless enemies of freedom that were either in the United States for military exercises or secretly snuck in massa into the country.
So it tells you the New World Order armies are going to be people from Russians, the Ukrainians, the Czechoslovakians, the Chinese people, and it says, and these people are in the United States for military exercises, just like we just read with China. China's already here for military exercises. So these are the people that's going to come in and get the New World Order intact. Because remember, the people that's in Jade Helm are going to get killed. Did we read that? They're the people that's on the blue list. So the red list is going to get killed by the people, the military that's in Jade Helm, and then those guys that operate the killing of the red list military, they going to get killed. So now you're going to have to bring in more troops, which would be the Russians and the Chinese people. All right? Read the last paragraph.
We're in the last paragraph and it reads, they even brought their crappy armored vehicles with them. I was once told that someone unnamed but credible had seen Soviet-made BRDM armored cars in Colorado during an exercise to simulate the rounding up of American citizens. The takeover of America was going to happen any day now.
So now you have people in Colorado who said they've seen Soviet armed cars, so Russian armed cars in Colorado doing one of their military exercises. So not only do we have the Chinese people in Mexico and Canada, but you have the Soviet, which is the Russians, doing their military exercises in Colorado and places like that. All right, I got one more site I want you to go to. Go to, give him that, brother.
We're at HTTP.
Say it louder so they can hear you.
We're at HTTP semicolon 2 slashes www.steve STEVE Quayle QUAYLE.com/index.php ? Again, that is HTTP semicolon 2 slashes www.steve Quayle STEVEQUAYLE.com/index.php ?
Anybody get that? Did they pull it up? Okay. When you guys put that in, what pulls up? The name of the article should be let's see. Hold on. Let me click on it. SteveQuayle.com.
Yeah.
Y'all got it? All right. Read that for them. Yeah.
Says very important. The other day I was doing some searching on the subject Jade Helm and stumbled onto the Jade Helm in the game called Diablo 3.
So, anybody heard of the game Diablo 3? I've never really heard of it. A lot of kids are probably in it. Yeah, it's
Diablo.
Diablo, yes.
1, 2, and.
So the game Diablo 3 has Jade Helm in the game. That's what I just read. Read it again.
Says very important. The other day I was doing some searching on the subject Jade Helm and stumbled onto the Jade Helm in the game called Diablo 3. Reaper of Souls.
Reaper of Souls. Go ahead.
It is a role-playing game in which you choose characters to play as.
Go ahead. Yeah, read it.
Says the other day I was doing some searching on the subject Jade Helm. Summoned onto the Jade Helm in the game Diablo 3. Reaper of Souls. It is a role-playing game in which you choose a character to play as. I am including some cut and paste verbiage, therefore this email also includes my prayers for protection as you read this evil stuff. The following is a description from the introduction I copied and pasted from the Diablo 3 Reaper of Souls website. It says Diablo 3 is an action role-playing game that takes place throughout the dark fantasy world of Sanctuary. The demons of the burning hells have long desired to invade the realm of men.
To invade the realm of men. So that's what we have going on with the Jade Helm exercise. Go ahead.
To this end, a powerful group of demon lords, known as the Lesser Evils, exiled their brethren, the Primevals, from the hells and sent them to the human world of Sanctuary. War came with them. The Primevals, Diablo, Mephisto, and Baal began corrupting humans, twisting them into dark servants, and poisoning their minds with false promises of power and wealth. They plan to use these souls in their ongoing battle against the angels of the high heavens.
So you listen.
That's great.
Listen. Hey, listen, you guys. I don't know what else to say. Says the game is the game is doing what they're doing to people here, lying to you, giving you false lies, deception on what this world is, and then they're going to take you down and put this chip in you and make you become a dark servant. That's what we just basically read. Read some more. We read about 2 more minutes of that.
It says brave heroes banded together and managed to slay the Primevals. Though the demons' influence left parts of the world scared and broken, thousands of people perished, towns were burned to ash, and an entire nation fell to ruin when the world stone was destroyed.
Sounds like America. Go ahead.
This ancient relic once kept Sanctuary safe from the armies of demons and angels, but it has been shattered, and its protection is no more.
I want you to skip down to somewhere. I don't want you to read the whole thing. So you guys have this up. You can read this.
What did you put?
Steve Quell.
Steve Quell. Steve Quell is what I clicked on. If anybody don't have it, I'll give it to you at the end of the lesson. Okay, so I just want you to read one section real quick. Read that paragraph to play.
It says, to play, you choose to play as a character, which include a barbarian, a crusader, a demon hunter, a monk, a witch doctor or a wizard. From what I could gather, having never played this evil game, as you enter battles, you gain points, experience, and can collect valuable items after each battle. Some of the valuable items include things like weapons, poison, armor. The witch doctor is the character that uses the jade helm, again from their website.
So the witch doctor on this game is the character that is called Jade Helm. Read the next paragraph.
It says he weaves the power of the spirits of the unformed land, summoning creatures from beyond the grave. He summons frightful undead, vermin, and other creatures for protection and defense. Uses destructive poison, acid, and fire attacks, power spells, and summons with mana. A slow occurring but deep well of energy. Though witch doctors make use of a variety of weaponry.
Read it again. The witch doctor on this game, which is called Jade Helm, he brings in poison, acid, and fiery attacks. Don't this sound like our government? Read the last part you just read. What is this witch doctor Jade Helm does?
It says, though witch doctors make use of a variety of weaponry.
So the witch doctor on this game has a variety of weaponry, which is what we're seeing here with the military, the Navy SEALs, the Air Force, everybody. We'll stop right there. So anybody that didn't get that article, just talk to me after the lesson and I'll make sure you get it. That way you can read it. But this is in a game called Diablo 3, and the character that's called the Witch Doctor, which is known as Jade Helm in the game, is the guy that comes in with all the poison, the acid, and the attacks on the people, the Reapers of the Souls. And he is the guy that has the variety of weaponry, the bows, and several one-kind pieces of equipment. So he has all the different type of equipment to kill all people. Alright, it's real crazy, right? Alright. So now let's get to the last 30 minutes of this. We're going to get to the Civil War part of the New World Order. We're going to talk about the Civil War part. Alright. Go ahead.
Touching Civil War, and it says anarchy, want of government.
So he's giving you the definition of anarchy. All right. So now that we know the troops are coming, this is what's going to push Barack Obama to finally say, all right, it's time to push the button. Push the red button now. Anarchy. Write that word down. So anarchy is what's going to make Obama say, let's go. Anarchy is going to be why there won't be another election. Give them the definition.
We have anarchy, and it says want of government, a state of society when there is no law or supreme power, or when the laws are not efficient and individuals do what they please with impunity, political confusion.
Anarchy means political confusion. When the laws of the government are not efficient and individuals do what they please. That's what we have going on right here. Anarchy is going on in America right now. The political system is confused. They fight with each other. All right. The laws that are in place are inefficient. Why? Because they're changing them one week from one law to another. So that's the time we're living in. Go to Deuteronomy 12 and 8. So civil war amongst the people will be the reason why Obama will say, all right, it's time to push that button. And once you have unrest in so many states, you can't have a new election. It's impossible. You just cannot bring in a new president when you have so much turmoil going on in every state. You have riots going on, people fighting amongst the police. You got troops on the streets. The economy is falling. You can't bring another president in. Deuteronomy 12 and 8.
On the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 12, verse 8. And it reads, "You shall not do after all the things that we do here this day. Every man whatsoever is right in his own eyes."
So every man right now is right in his own eyes. Everybody in this nation is doing what he think is right. Nobody is doing what a higher think is right. All right, I told y'all. I told y'all that last article was the last one. I forgot I had this one for y'all. Go to Google again and put in "Anarchy in America 2014." ANARCHY, Anarchy in America 2014. And go down to number 3. It's the third one. And it should say "eyeing a presidential bid, Ben Carson." Anarchy in America 2014, number 3. Go ahead.
Says, eyeing a presidential bid, Ben Carson warns of anarchy in the U.S. Says
Give
Ben
him the date. Give him the date.
We have September 29, 2014.
So this was just recent. This wasn't too long ago. This is Ben Carson is a guy that's going to run for president. He's a black guy. Go ahead.
Says Ben Carson, the former pediatric neurosurgeon who's building a following among conservatives, says the likelihood is strong that he'll mount a presidential bid in 2016. That is, if elections actually take place.
So Ben Carson, a very bright individual, says, "Hey, I'm most likely going to put in my presidential bid for 2016 if elections actually take place." Go ahead.
Says on Fox News Radio last week, Carson suggested elections may not take place 2 years from now because there may be so much anarchy going on. It says, Ben Carson, let's say you magically put me into the White House. Asked to elaborate on his comments on Fox News Sunday, Carson said, I hope that that's not going to be the case, but certainly there is the potential.
So this dude says, I don't even really want to get in the White House, but if that happens, then it happens. Go ahead.
You have to recognize that we have a rapidly increasing national debt, a very unstable financial foundation, and you have all these things going on like the Islamic State of Iraq and Syria crisis that could very rapidly change things that are going on in our nation. And unless we begin to deal with these things in a comprehensive way and in a logical way, there is no telling what could happen in just a matter of couple of years, he said. He went on to say that while it would be much more pleasant to stay on the sidelines, sometimes we're called to do things that we don't want to do because we have to do them. If everyone runs for the hills, he said, then we get what we deserve.
So the dude says, I almost wish I could just stay on the sidelines, but if I sit back and watch, we're going to get what we deserve. But this dude's a very bright individual running for the presidency, and he says, listen, I'm going to run if he's got belief that there's not even going to be an election. And, you know, Elder Ricard's been talking about this for years. Elder Ricard has been for at least 3 years saying, listen, you guys, there ain't going to be no election. Get out of America now. Don't even buy nothing else. There won't be another president. But you can just go on YouTube right now and you see a lot of foreigners in other countries saying that America's done. A lot of foreigners in other countries, bigwigs, having conversations saying that Obama is the last president. And it's all on YouTube. It's all on YouTube. These are not even people that live in America. These are people in other countries saying they know and they've gotten word that America's done. So people, we gotta wake up. Go to Isaiah 19:2. We are in that time to where you gotta make that decision ASAP, because it's gonna creep upon you like the thief in the night. We just read some articles and some things right now, you guys, that is coming straight from sources. It ain't coming from my mouth. Alright? This stuff is dead on. And this Jade Helm exercise just confirms that their mission is right around the corner. Why would they put all these troops in all these different states? Why? They have never done this in past times. Why now? Because of the civil war that's going on in every state. Right now, Baltimore is basically in a civil war. These people are fighting with the police, fighting with the National Guard. Same thing that happened in Ferguson. You know, these people, even in New York. Yeah, they're not fighting in New York, but I seen something the other day in New York. It was thousands. They said it was over 7,000 to 8,000 people in the streets. In the streets, walking the streets in New York. Over 7,000 to 8,000 people walking in downtown New York. And nothing has even happened in New York. But you have every state now that is starting to come together and walk these streets in heavy numbers. They're not going to allow it to happen, you guys. That's when they're going to bring the troops and say enough is enough. But by that time, once the people see the troops, just like what we send in Baltimore, people are going to start fighting them. Because they're looking for justice. And until they get justice, they feel like we're not going home. Isaiah 19:2. Go ahead.
We're in the book of Isaiah, in chapter 19, verse 2. And it reads, "And I will set the Egyptians against the Egyptians, and they shall fight everyone against his brother, and everyone against his neighbor, city against city, and kingdom against kingdom."
So that's kind of what we have going here. Like the Egyptians is being used, but you have American against American. All right, people against the people, brother against brother, neighbor against neighbor, city against city, kingdom against kingdom. All right, so this is what's going to bring in the Civil War. Everybody's against each other, you guys. Nobody trusts the next man. Everybody's ready to take the next man out like that. Okay? Go to Numbers 23 and 24. So let's show you what's happening in these states. All right, let's show you why the police is now have their hands full. Let's show you why the troops on these streets in these states don't matter no more. Years ago, you could bring the troops on the street, and everybody would back down and go home. People like, oh, there they go, out of here. Not no more. You bring the troops on the street, they actually tease these people off a little more. They get a little more rowdy. They be like, man, let's take these dudes out. That's what they thinking. They think they can take the troops out. Like I say, last week you seen in Baltimore, man, these dudes were attacking the troops, throwing bricks at them, bottles, to where the troops was retreating. But it's a setup. We know it's a setup. Numbers 23 and 24.
We're in the book of Numbers, chapter 23, verse 24, and it reads, "Behold, the people shall rise up as a great lion, and lift up himself as a young lion. He shall not lie down until he eat of the prey, and drink the blood of the slain."
So the people shall rise up as a great lion. That's what's happened. That's what's happened. Judah has woke up. Great lion. In all these states, Judah is awoke. And once Judah wake, everybody follows Judah. Esau, Issachar, everybody. So once Judah wakes up, everybody gets in numbers and follow these guys. All right? And he lift up himself as a young lion, and he shall not lie down until he eat of the prey. So Judah is not going to lay down. Now that they've been woke, Judah is not going to lay down until all these cops get arrested. Until all these cops that's killing people in all these different states for no reasons, until all of them get taken out, Judah ain't going back down. Judah is woke now. So it's nothing that anybody can do now. All right. So now that the troops are on the street and they realize Judah ain't going back down, and you have to understand the troops, they train differently for Judah. Okay. They have a training session where they train for everybody, and then they have it specifically trained exercise that's for Judah, because they know Judah is rowdy. They know Judah. See, if you got a street full of white people, Esau and maybe Issachar, you bring the troops on the street, it'll be a little more civil. You might have a few rowdy people, but they'll back down. Military didn't really have to do nothing. But Judah, military got to kick it into a whole nother draw. They got to put a whole new carcass in. They got to say these people is a different type of game. So now that Judah is woke, these troops know that Judah's not going to back down, and Obama knows that. Obama sees this happen in every state. He knows these people ain't going to back down. So this is why now you have all the troops in every state now. This is why they're doing Jade Helm, because they say this ain't going to die down. It should have died down last summer, but it didn't. It's only going to get worse. So now they're putting themselves in position because they know this is only going to get worse. Got to see what's happening. Amos 3 and 4. That's the main reason why they're bringing the troops in, you guys, because they say this ain't slowing down. So we got to put the troops in position before it gets to the point to where our military is getting taken out. And look, and it happens a week and a half later after Baltimore incident when you see those people attacking the police. Man, they had the police on the move. Amos 3 and 4. Go ahead.
We in the book of Amos, chapter 3, verse 4, and it reads, "Will a lion roar in the forest when he have no prey? Will a young lion cry out of his den if he have taken nothing?"
So Judah right now, the so-called black people, they are on the streets crying. They're crying because they have not taken anything back to the den. All right, they haven't gotten no justice. In their eyes, they're looking for justice. They're looking for somebody to get locked up. Nobody's been locked up, so they're out there in the streets crying. All right, they're out there roaring. All right, because nothing's been done. Nobody's been persecuted for any of these attacks. But we all know justice is not going to be found. All right, break down the word justice.
We have justice, and it is a person commissioned to hold court or to try and decide controversies and administer justice to individuals as the Chief Justice of the King's Bench. Or
So this is what we've been taught that justice is. We've been taught that the person in the Chief Justice Department that sits on the King's Bench, the judges, these are the people that bring justice. This is what we've been taught, but that's not where justice comes from. Okay? Let's go to Psalms 43 and 1. So the people in Baltimore or Ferguson, they will not receive justice. All right? But since they've been taught that justice is the person that sits on the bench with the black robe, this is why they're in the street, because they feel like, well, Martin Luther King did it, so we can do it. Okay? So this is what they've been taught. All right, but let's see what the Bible says about justice. Go ahead.
in the book of Psalms, chapter 43, verse 1, and it reads, "Judge, O power, and plead my cause against an ungodly nation. O deliver me from the deceitful and unjust man. For thou art the power of my strength. Why doest thou cast me off? Why go I mourning because of the oppression of the enemy?"
So, judge me, O power, and plead my cause against an ungodly nation. O deliver me from the deceitful and unjust man. So we're dealing with the unjust nation, an ungodly nation, an unjust man. That's where we're at right now in America. This nation is ungodly, so everything they do is against the Most High. So there's no justice here. All right, they can stop fighting all they want. They will not get justice. Who was saying that the other day? Maybe I was watching somewhere. I thought maybe one of the brothers said they seen something that a guy came straight out and said that there will be no, there is no justice. One of y'all tell me that?
About the dude saying the rights doesn't apply to you guys.
Right.
The official in Baltimore.
The official in Baltimore said that?
Yeah,
What?
the chief.
The chief?
Yeah.
What did he say again?
He was just basically saying that the protection of the police, of the is not to protect you guys. The Constitution has nothing to do with it.
Right. So stop asking for justice, basically.
Quit pleading for a cause.
All right. So and that's what Psalms 43:1 is saying. We are an ungodly nation. We it's ran by unjust men. Okay. Let's go to So we have to understand, you guys. You have to understand that all this that they're doing is just creating bigger and bigger problems. Okay. Let's go to 1 Corinthians 4:1. We've got about 5 minutes left, if that. 1 Corinthians 4:1. Go ahead.
We're in the book of 1 Corinthians. We're in chapter 4, verse 1, and it reads, "Let a man so account of us as of the ministers of Yeshua, and stewards of the mysteries of the Most High. Moreover, it is required in stewards that a man be found faithful. But with me, it is a very small thing that I should be judged of you, or of man's judging. Yet I judge not mine own self, for I know nothing by myself. Yet am I not hereby justified, but he that judgeth me is the Most High. Therefore judge nothing before the time, until the Most High come, who both will bring to light the hidden things of darkness, and will make manifest the counsels of the heart. And then shall every man have praise of the Most High."
So it says, "Judge nothing before the time until the Most High come." So who are these people going to looking for justice? They're looking for a judge to plead to look into their case? No. Stop walking the streets right now. It's the wrong thing to do right now. All these people out in the streets making all this ruckus looking for justice. They should be at home right now in numbers in a church or in a big building somewhere praying to the Most High, asking for justice in that realm. But yet they are in numbers in the streets to where the government, that's part of their plan. That's what the government wants. The government knows there's only two ways we can start the New World Order. One, confiscate all the guns. They tried that. Year and a half ago, 2 years ago, they bring that up. They can't get all the guns. And the other way, if there's riots in multiple states, now we can bring in New World Order. Those are the only two ways they can bring in New World Order. If we confiscate all the guns, or if there's multiple riots in multiple states. So that's why they're allowing this to happen in all these states. They're allowing multiple groups walk in numbers, and all Obama got to say, this is out of control. You got too many people on the streets. Get the troops on the street and get this under control. So they are allowing it to happen. This is part of their plan. Instead of us being a little more smarter and say, nah, we're all just going to gather together the same, but we're going to go into this building, worship the Most High, seek judgment through him. He's the only person that can judge. It says, judge nothing before that time. Only he can be the judge. Okay? So with that in mind, you guys, I hope with last week's part 1 and this week's part 2, when you put them together, hopefully you get some understanding and some better information on how this is going to happen. How Jade Helm is really going to take effect, and what Jade Helm is all about, and why the Walmart stores closed. When you put it all together, you guys, this is not a training exercise that they're telling you on the news or in the newspaper. This is it, you guys. This is the real deal, because once they put all these troops in these states, they're not going to pull them out. Just like George Bush said, oh, we're going to put so many troops in Iraq for so long. Them troops stayed in Iraq over 10 years. It wasn't even nothing going on in Iraq no more, and they were still in there, man.
Yes.
So the same thing here, you guys. Once they are here, they're here. Okay? And then you can tie it together with Wednesday's lesson with the plagues and the GMOs. And like I said, for people that missed that, listen, they are now putting vaccinations in our food. That's deep. Okay? So with that in mind, we'll say all praises to the Most High Ahaya. We'll pray it out, and then if anybody have any questions or anything, we'll open it up at the end. So let's pray out.